Good morning. In today's session, we are going to see the working of the double acting reciprocating pump. Before moving much into the session, let me briefly explain the working principle of the double acting reciprocating pump. What does it mean double acting? That means both in the forward as well as the reverse stroke of the piston, the succession and the discharge is going to happen. Kindly look up this diagram. In this diagram, the two red valves, BA, DB, they are nothing but the delivery valve A and delivery valve B. SA and SB, the black color valve, which we used to call it as suction valve A and suction valve B. Based upon the plunger and the piston movement, the succession and the delivery will take place simultaneously. Now look up the diagram over here. As the crank rotates, that allows the connecting rod to push the plunger. As a result, the piston tends to move both the forward as well as the reverse stroke. Now, if you look up this, the two suction valve A and suction valve B, which has been attached over the two individual succession pipe, and also you can see the discharge valve A and the discharge valve B. Now, as the crank rotates, what will as it moves from 0 to 90 degree and 90 to 180-degree, the plunger moves from right to left and left to right. So based upon that movement, the succession valve tends to open. So as the delivery pipe is of two numbers, where the discharge pipe it becomes one. Both the delivery pipe has been joined in a single pipe discharge pipe. So when the piston moves from left to right or right to left, one suction valve A will open and the other delivery valve B will get open. So succession will happen at one end and the delivery will happen at the other end. So the simultaneously when the piston moves from the other direction, then the reverse stroke is going to happen. Now we will look up into the forward stroke. So when the crank moves from 0 to 90-degree, the piston moves towards the right direction. So when the piston moves towards the right side of the cylinder, see the arrowheads is clearly mentioned over here that the piston is moving from left to right direction. As the piston moves from left to right direction, a vacuum has been generated over this area. As a result, the suction valve SA tends to open. Now you look up the line, the liquid is sucked from the sump through the suction valve SA as shown in the figure. Now it's very clear that when the piston moves from left to right or towards the right direction, the suction valve get open. At the same moment, the liquid on the right hand side of the piston tends to gain pressure because of the rightward movement. As a result, the discharge valve DV get open and the liquid is being discharged through the discharge pipe. So have a glance on the statement. The delivery valve DP opens when the liquid is discharged through this valve. So this happens when the piston moves from left to right. The succession valve A get opened. As a result, the succession stroke happening at one side and the delivery valve B open and the discharge is happening on the other side. Now let us have a look on how the reverse stroke work. So when the piston, we look into this reverse stroke. As is of reverse stroke is concerned, it's very clear that the piston is going to move from right to left. So the piston moves towards the left side of the cylinder. As it moves towards the left side of the cylinder, what is going to happen as like the vice versa of the previous case. In the previous case, succession take place at SCA side and the delivery take place at the BB side. When the piston moves opposite, that is towards the left, the vacuum is being created over there. As a result, the SB, the succession valve B get open and through the succession pipe, the liquid is allowed to admit towards the tail portion of this piston. Now you look that some during the previous succession stroke, some liquid has been stored in the cylinder. As the piston moves from left to right, this compression has happened. As a result, the high pressure has increased, which results in the open of the delivery valve DA. So here the delivery valve DB will be in the closed condition and the delivery valve DA tends to open. So now have a glance on the line. The delivery line DA opens and the liquid is discharged through the valve. So this way, the double acting reciprocating pump tends to work. During the initial phase,